It's time to start this bug out bag. So let's talk about it. Okay, if you're not bugging out, I hope you are planning to bug out because we're living in times where things are getting pretty serious out there. You know, you have fires, tornadoes, hurricanes, floods, all types of disasters that may warrant you to prepare yourself for some type of emergency or some type of event. So what I have done today is I've prepared a kit, and I want to talk about some of the things that I've prepared. Actually, I've had these things, I have more than one kit. Let me explain that. So in my household, everyone has their own backpack. Each person has their backpack with things in it. I'm going to talk about what some of those things are, and I'm going to show you in my bag what I have. Okay, so everyone has their own backpack, but this is what I call the master backpack and the master plan, because this bag will have things that some of the other bags won't have, and I will discuss that because there's things that I've thought about that I know my family members probably are not really thinking about. Okay, so let's go over it. I made a little list here because I want to make sure I don't leave anything out. And also there probably will be a part 2 to this video because I'm almost certain there's something that I might think of that I haven't included in this part 1. Okay, so the first thing I believe we should all be thinking about in the case of some type of emergency or some disaster that might happen is your passport. If you have a passport, you want to think about having that, your ID, your driver's license as well, and yeah, passport, ID, driver's license. So what I do at my house is I keep those things like in a binder or folder, and also let's mention Social Security cards. And I keep this somewhere where I can readily grab it because it's not always in this bag, you know, but I know if something is looking kind of weird in my community, I know where this is at. And this has all of our emergency papers in it, you know, from IDs to birth certificates, just, you know, any type of important paperwork, titles to the car, you know, things like that. But again, this is kept somewhere where I can readily grab it if I need it and put it in this bag. Let me show you guys how my bag looks. This is an insulated bag. This was a gift to me. It was given to me by someone. It's insulated. It's a pretty nice size. You know, this is why I call this the master bag. Okay, so the first thing is this, your IDs, your important things. The next thing you want to think about is this, and I had to think about this particular paper because, or this particular device because it pertains to me. If you're a type of person that have just say stocks or crypto, or you know, you're involved in, you have 401k or what have you, and you have certain codes and things like that, you need to think about having that in a place as well where you can grab it quickly and put it into this bag. You know, like if you have a ledger, you know, you need a ledger to get to your crypto. And you have those codes that you need to have as well, which you wouldn't want to leave behind. So make sure you're thinking about those things that are important for you, that pertain to you, that you don't want to leave behind. If you had to just grab this bag and run out the door, just say if you have 5 minutes, you have 5 minutes and you have to get out of the door, you need to remember to grab your folder, your ledger or device or important paperwork that may have certain codes and, you know, access codes. I know we have everything online now, everything is computerized or in the cloud, all this internet stuff, but you know, the internet could go down. Something can happen where you might not have access to the internet. So I still write things on paper, like I write code numbers of that sort, or if it's something really important, I still write things down and I keep them like in a binder as a backup as well. So you want to remember those things. Now, the other thing you want to really keep in mind is those individuals that might be on medications, if you have asthma and you take an asthma pump, or if you have just medications for any health situation, or even if there are certain vitamins that you take on a regular basis, you want to make sure you have that in a place where you can grab it quickly as well and throw in the bag. Because something like medications, if you're taking those daily, you're not going to have them in this big bag waiting for an emergency. But you do want to have those in a spot where you could just grab your medication, grab your IDs, grab your ledger if you have a ledger, grab your binder that has all of your important papers on it. You want to have that in a place where you can go and grab it. And hopefully those places are kind of close. Or at least you've put some thought into it. Because if you put thought into it, when you have an emergency, you'll think of it right away. You won't be scrambling like, oh, where's this, where's that? Start now. Start preparing now so that if there's some type of emergency, you won't find yourself like at a disadvantage. My family, we've started thinking about these things months ago, and we've come up with a plan. That works for us, that should work for us in any event. But who knows if if some storm comes and it's out of our control, then it's out of our control. If we're not able to grab those things, we're not able to. But if we are, have a plan so that you can be successful if you need to. And also for those of you that may have some type of, defense or artillery, and you may have, things in order where you can, carry certain things that would protect you. You want to make sure you have that in a place where you can grab it quickly and go with you as well. Depending on where you live, I know some states are, conceal and carry, and some states are not. You have to have a permit or permission to be able to buy those particular things. I'm trying not to say it because so many people say if you say the wrong thing, YouTube, you get in trouble. So I think you guys know what I'm talking about. If you have those type of, devices, you want to make sure you have them in a place where you can go out the door with them as well. Okay, so the next thing that I think will go good, and those things are in this bag. I'm just going to pull them out. It's in the master bag, and also we all have our own individual backpacks. Okay, I think everyone should consider having a life straw. You guys may have heard about this device. It's real good for if you come across some contaminated water. If you use this life straw, you can drink that water and the contamination won't harm your body. Depending on where you may find yourself, this can really come in handy. You may find yourself near a stream or some type of lake and trying to sift some water out. I say don't be left without this. Every person in my family, they all have this. I went out and bought these just to kind of prepare my family in the case of an emergency. So it's called Life Straw. Many people have talked about this on other YouTube channels. You can look it up, and and it's not that big. You can easily put it in your bag. So this was something good to have. And also, what I think is wonderful to have is just a couple bottles of water. It's nothing like being somewhere out stranded or having a situation and not having anything to drink. So if you got water, you're ahead of the game. The body can live with water. So I think having a few bottles of this is really good. And also, if you want to have a little flavor in your water, consider some type of, like I have Pure Quick. It's a hydrator. It's something to hydrate you, because sometimes you might want to switch it up a little bit. So these are real good items to keep in your bug out bag. Water has a pretty good shelf life. This has a pretty good shelf life. That's the other thing I forgot to mention. Consider things that have really good shelf life. Now, there's nothing like having, you know, I got this Skippy peanut butter, but I want to encourage people to consider looking for more organic, natural peanut butter. I got this, but I'm starting to go over to more organic, natural type of ingredients. But would I use this in an emergency? Yes, I will. And also crackers. This is a big box of crackers, but this is a master bag. But crackers have a pretty good shelf life. And if you're in a situation, you can always take a couple of crackers, dip it in peanut butter, and there you have it. You know, you have your cracker, your peanut butter, and you have a water. We're talking about in an emergency here, whereas you're not going to be able to get a full meal, but you may want to have cracker, peanut butters, you know, peanut butter and water just to kind of get you past that crisis or over that hump. The other thing you could consider having is if you like tuna, just, you know, a can of tuna or a couple cans. Every bug out bag should have some type of canned good, hopefully as healthy as you can get it, or basically whatever you like, you know. Get what suits you. And I have sardines here because I love sardines. And then here's a can of tuna. I make sure that all of the backpacks have this in it because we all like tuna. Not everyone likes sardine, but I bring it as well because in a situation, if I have to crack it open, we'll crack open the sardines as well, and we'll make it work. The other thing you cannot underestimate is having just some packets of oatmeal or grits, something simple that you could probably just put inside of water. And if you happen to be near a microwave or someone has a microwave or a heating device, one of those little stoves you can put, you know, on the ground like when you're camping and you're able to heat something up, this can easily be done. You know, microwavable oatmeal, microwavable grits. And also I have the popcorn, only because it's got pretty good shelf life. I don't know if this is something I'll be able to use, but it's not taking any space in my bag, so this is what I pack as well. Okay, and also here, let's not forget to have some type of first aid kit or wound kit on hand just in case someone gets a scrape on the knee or a scrape, you know, on the finger or something like that. You want to at least have a bandage or something like that so you can take care of yourself and, you know, and be well. Now, I really searched for this because for some reason these weren't as easy to find, but I think this is very important. And it's a can opener, just a little small can opener. You know, I have a few of these. And these I keep around because if you come across some other canned goods that need to be opened, you'll be able to open them up. And also I have the other can opener that you turn. It's in my other bag there. Well, I'll show you. It's in the backpack. This can opener, the one you can use to latch on to canned goods and just screw it and you can open canned goods with that. And the other thing I have is some type of wet wipes or any type of device that would allow you to use it like, this is for hands, it's antibacterial, but they have these other wipes and campers sometimes buy them. They're called hand wipes. They're like little balls and you put them in water and they stretch out and you can like use them to wipe yourself in a case, you know, of an emergency if you're out somewhere and you need to clean yourself. Now also each family member, they're all encouraged to have just a small pack of clothing. Nothing big and bulky, just some, you know, a shirt, a pair of jogging pants, sweats, some socks, some underwear packed in the bag, and preferably also a long sleeve shirt that's not really bulky or a long sleeve hoodie that's not too bulky. So you know, if you're somewhere and it's really cold, you can cover yourself with that. I also recommend having a blanket. Just a blanket is not really bulky, but something you can put in the bag. A blanket is something that I'll probably put in this master bag. So I have started this bug out bag quite a while, maybe six months ago when I started the pantry, and it's a work in progress. I'm going to improve it as I go along because I know there's other things that might be important that I'm not thinking about right now that I should include in this bag. But at least this is a start because it's nothing like seeing people have some type of catastrophe and they had 10 minutes to get out of their house and they didn't get anything because they hadn't thought about it. And not only have they not thought about it, they didn't prepare. You know, they didn't have like small things like small cans of tuna and water, small bottles of water or crackers in a place where they can go and get it easily. And some people, maybe they run out and leave the house and they've left their passport, their ID, or their driver's license, or their social security card, or their birth certificate. And you know how difficult it is to get a birth certificate or a social security card. All the things you have to go through to apply for that over again. It's not impossible, but it's kind of one of those time-consuming things that you have to do. So there you have it, everyone. I think everyone should consider not only having a bug-out bag, but also having a plan of escape, like where you're going to meet up at if you're in different places. Because we've talked about that, my family. We've talked about, like, if there was some bad storm and I was at home, but other family members were at work, you know, like if we all work during the day, and you had to, and you're not at home, but you're at work, where will you meet up at? If you could, you know, or you just have to think about it, you know, not saying that it's going to 100% work out that way, but I think it's better to be prepared and never have to use that plan than to not be prepared and have to use it and have nothing to rely on or nothing to fall back on. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. If you enjoyed this content, would you please like and subscribe? And I should see you in the next one. And hopefully we'll come with a part 2. And I'll talk about some other things you might be able to fit in your master bug out bag.